خلاص.
No. Oh, you're live?
No.
Huh? You ready? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى حدثنا عبد الله بن صالح. He's a problem. You don't even have to change the narration, so I don't even know why I'm talking to you now. But and the first person, which is the Sheikh of Bukhari, which is Abdullah ibn Salih. You know, he's a Saduq, and they say Kathir al-Ghalat, like he makes a lot of mistakes in his narration. So we already got off to a bad start for this hadith.
Abdullah ibn Salih?
Abdullah ibn Salih.
Is weak?
Hafiz ibn Hajar said Saduq. But the problem is that when Hafiz ibn Hajar says Saduq in Taqrib, now Saduq is one of the alfaz that you use for a person who's Hasan. Like his hadith is accepted, but he's like just on the edge of not being accepted. But when Hafiz ibn Hajar says Saduq in Taqrib, you have to go back to the other books of Rijal and go back and revise that, because generally if he says Saduq and he says Kathir al-Ghalat, the person's weak. He's weak, So, and that's the state of Abdullah ibn Salih, and that's what he said in Taqrib. He says Saduqun and Kathir al-Ghalat. So he makes a lot of mistakes in narration. So in that case, no. All right. So قال حدثني الليث قال حدثني خالد بن يزيد عن سعيد بن أبي هلال عن أبي حازم عن أبي مرة مولى عقيل أن أبا هريرة رضي الله عنه كان يستخلفه مروان وكان يكون بذي الحليفة فكانت أمه في بيت وهو في آخر. قال فإذا أراد أن يخرج وقف على بابها فقال السلام عليك يا أمتاه ورحمة الله وبركاته، فتقول وعليك السلام يا بني ورحمة الله وبركاته، فيقول رحمك الله كما ربيتني صغيرا، فتقول رحمك الله كما بررتني كبيرا، ثم إذا أراد أن يدخل صنع مثله. So this is now goes back to Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, in which he said, كان يستخلفه مروان. يستخلفه مروان, istikhlaf means to do what?
Like he makes him somewhat of authority?
Yeah, he puts him in authority over a certain area. يستخلفه. But the actual word in the Arabic language, يستخلفه, it means what?
Say it again?
In the word in the Arabic language. It means that each generation succeeds another generation.
Oh yeah.
The meaning in the Arabic language, yeah. So يستخلف مروان وكان يكون بذي الحليفة. ذي الحليفة, that's the place where he used to put him over in authority. فكانت أمه في بيته, and his mother would be in the house. وهو في آخر, and he would be in another house. قال فإذا أراد أن يخرج, and if he wanted to go out وقف على بابها. If he wanted to go out and leave, he would go to the door of the house that his mother was in. Alright, فَقَالَ السَّلَامُ عَلَيْكِ, and then he would say, Assalamu alayki. Now, of course, it's permissible to say what? You don't have to say Assalamu alaykum if you're speaking to one person. If you're speaking to one person, you can say what? Assalamu alayk. Assalamu alayk. Assalamu alayki. If it's a female, which inshallah you're not giving salams to females, inshallah that's not, if it's a mahram, then you're a mahram for that female, then there's no problem. But assalamu alayki, assalamu alaykum, assalamu alaykunna, if it's a bunch of women, whatever, because the kaf here is for the khitab, so the khitab is to, the speech is to one person, you can just go up to the person and say assalamu alayk. If that's the only person there, you don't have to say assalamu alaykum.
So that would be like Salaam alaikum, plural?
That's plural, for all of you, yeah. Alright. So, but here you see that he gave salams to his mother, he said, Assalamu alayki. Because the kaf here with the kasra, ilayki, is for the female. Alright, ya ummata, O my mother, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And may the mercy and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be given to you. Fatakulu, and then she would say to him, وعليك السلام يا بني ورحمة. Wait, hold on now. I skipped something, didn't I?
وعليك السلام ورحمة الله
No, no, I
وبركاته.
didn't skip anything. Okay, that's what he said. فَتَقُولُ وَعَلَيْكَ السَّلَامُ يَا بُنَيَّ. And then she would say,
Can I see yours? Oh, sorry. Okay, mine says تقول وعليك السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
He said, فَإِذَا أَرَادَ أَن يَخْرُجَ وَقَفَ عَلَى بَابِهَا فَقَالَ السَّلَامُ عَلَيْكِ يَا أُمَّتَاهِ ورحمة الله وبركاته. فَتَقُولُ وَعَلَيْكَ السَّلَامُ يَا بُنَيَّ. And for you also, وَعَلَيْكَ السَّلَامُ, O my son, وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ وَبَرَكَاتُهُ. فَيَقُولُ, and then he would say, and Abu Hurairah would say to her, رَحِمَكِ اللَّهُ, may Allah have mercy on you. So this also shows that, making dua for mercy is not only for dead people. Because a lot of people, if you go and say, Allah yarhamuk, they're like, oh, I'm still alive. No, you could, okay, tell you don't want the dua. It's like, no, the dua for rahmah is whether you're alive or not. You see, he made dua for his mother, rahimahillahu, may Allah have mercy on you. And he said, rahimahillahu kama rabbaytani saghira. So he said, may Allah have mercy for you, for how you, because you raised me when I was young. You raised me up like how you raised me up when I was young. At Tarbiyah, we spoke about the Tarbiyah before as what?
Nurturing someone.
Yeah, so it means to nurture someone and to raise them up in stages, so to Rabbi, and so the Rabbani, as far as the ulama, الذين يربون الناس على صغار العلم قبل كباره. So the Rabbani, the alim or Rabbani, is the person who raises up the people with the small bits of knowledge before he gets into the more complex and bigger bits of knowledge. So the same thing with the mother and the parents and how they raise the child, that they nurture the child and they introduce the child to things in stages. They don't just go and just toss everything onto them, and that will cause psychological issues. You should raise the child up little by little and then get them accustomed to the life that they need to live. And then she said, فَتَقُولُ رَحِمَكَ اللَّهُ, may Allah have mercy on you. كَمَا بَرَرْتَنِي كَبِيرًا, because you were righteous to me in my old age. So this is his dua. He's saying this to his mother, and his mother is saying this back to them. ثُمَّ إِذَا رَادَ أَن يَدْخُلَ صَنَعَ مِثْلُهُ. And this is when he was leaving. He would say this to his mother, and when he wanted to come back in, after he left, he wanted to come back in, and he would say this to his mother. The shahid of the hadith is that this is Abu Hurairah in his older age. He's a narrator of hadith. He's from the ulama. And he was from the people that was given authority over different areas of the Muslims. He was a person of authority, but yet you still see his behavior with his parents, with his mother specifically, like how he would go and how he would act to his mother. Even at the stage of him being this person that everybody goes to for knowledge, imagine, subhanAllah, a Zuhri. And we just look at like somebody like the Zuhri, or like somebody like Al-A'raj, and these people that narrated from Abu Hurairah. The people that used to narrate from him are like Jibal, These are like mountains of knowledge. The people that used to narrate from him. Now imagine himself, sitting with the Prophet ﷺ, memorizing all these hadith. The Prophet ﷺ making dua for him, that he can have that type of memory where he can memorize the hadith. And then even at his age, that he still has this humility with his mother, to the point where like this is the dua that he's making as he's going in and going out. And even if the chain of narration is not authentic.
I found it.
Yeah, it's da'if. It's in the back of the book, right?
Yeah.
And what is it? Because Abdullah ibn Salih or what?
سعيد بن أبي هلال.
Sa'id ibn Hilal is what?
كان اختلط.
اختلط. I mean, what?
Like he would mix up narrations?
No, because اختلط, it could have different meanings. The ikhtilat, it could be mean like in his later age, he started to get, like, as he got older, he started to mix up hadiths, and he used to get things wrong. Or did he do it in his younger age, in his older age? So this is something I have to go back and check later. But also Abdullah ibn Salih is also. So there's more than one elder in the chain of narration. So like I said, the chain is da'if, but it's still a beautiful practice. Regardless, and that's why Bukhari, even though these narrations are not authentic, or he brought them regardless because of what? There's nothing in this hadith that goes against the usul, the foundations of this deen. So even if he brings a hadith that's da'if here, you'll see that the hadith still is within the confines of what's accepted in this deen, you know. So for a person, now, it doesn't mean that you have to like burden yourself to do this all the time. And in fact, probably in America, if I did this with my mother, every time that I went out of the house and came back in the house, my mother would throw a shoe at me. Like, she would be like, would you shut up? Like, you know, it's like, you know, so you gotta like, you know, you gotta kind of judge it, like, you know, because you're trying to be good to your parents, but you gotta be good in a way that is good for them.
Annoyed.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, because, you know, if you keep trying to be too good, that can be, it can be annoying, you know, especially when you have an old school Southern mother who doesn't want to be bothered that day, you know, and you're just sitting there like, oh, Mom, you know, just like, you know, all the mercy that you've shown to me, like, boy, shut up and leave. You know, like, she's gonna just like, get out the house, you know, go, would you just go, you know, but, yeah, I mean, it has to be within the confines of what's acceptable and what's good for the person that you're trying to show that righteous behavior to, because you don't want, like, so long time. So the next hadith, حدثنا أبو نعيم قال حدثنا سفيان عن عطاء بن سائب عن أبيه عن عبد الله بن عمرو رضي الله عنهما قال جاء رجل إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يبايعه على الحجرة وترك أبويه يبكيان فقال ارجع إليهما واضحكهما كما أبكيتهما. And this hadith also ضعيف, right?
No, صحيح.
Well, Shaykh al-Albani said it's sahih.
Yeah, Shaykh al-Albani said it's sahih right here. He graded it sahih.
Oh, Allah.
Yeah, you can see.
Alright, so حدثنا, alright, so here he said what? This hadith is reported on the authority of Abdullah ibn Amr. Oh, I'm just going to read something real fast. That's outside of the Sahihain. I'm going to go back and look this back up, inshallah, when I go home, inshallah. I didn't get a chance to, I read over them, but I didn't get a chance to go through each narrator because I was busy with Bulugh Maram all today, so as you can see, the notebook, pages of, you know, you'll see when we get to the hadith of Bulugh Maram, so I was focused on that today, so long time. So I'll go back and review this, but let's go over the hadith anyways. So he says, Abdullah ibn Amr, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ to give him bay'ah, all right, to give him the allegiance, al-hijrah, that he's going to make hijrah to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, وَتَرَكَ أَبَوَيْهِ يَبْكِيَانِ, and he left his parents behind him, what? Crying. All right, his father and his mother. So the Prophet ﷺ told him, he said, ارجع إليهما, return to them. وَضْحِكْهُمَا كَمَا أَبْكَيْتَهُمَا, and make them laugh just like you made them cry. Just as you made them cry, go back and make them laugh. So, mashallah. Oh man, this is about to make me cry. I mean, you just see the beauty of this deen, man. SubhanAllah. I mean, think about it. Who actually went to church? When it was like you actually went to church and you listened to all those sermons every Sunday. Have you ever heard anything like this in church? Like, just imagine, like, SubhanAllah, and this is just a, you know, this is just one class. I mean, you come to the class in the Fajr, you got Bukhari, we're going over Bukhari, then going over the daily hadith, and we're just getting this all throughout the day. Just the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful speech. And you just think like, these are hadith, you know, you don't hear nobody. You're not gonna go on social media and hear this. You don't go to any place and hear this. You go to all these, like, you know, motivational speakers. They're not talking about this type of stuff, right? You know, so it's like, where are you ever going to hear this? And then it's like, and these are the types of things that people need to hear nowadays because, like, right now, this whole respect for the parents and the love for the parents and the righteousness to the parents is like at an all-time low as far as history is concerned. You know, so if it's like something that we really, really want to bring back, because it's not just bringing back a sunnah. This is bringing back what?
Deen.
This is a deen. This is an obligation upon the people. You know, because it seems like, subhanAllah, and we're not, you know, it's very rare that you hear a khutbah about, you know, the rights of the parents anymore A lot of this stuff, but you hear and you see the importance of it, so much so that Bukhari dedicated probably like the first, I don't know, about 80, 90 hadiths just to the rights of the parent. And in fact, he has a book, it's called Birrul Walidain, by Imam al-Bukhari, that he wrote just specifying just that alone, just that issue alone. So aside from all that he did here, so Allahumma staan, just imagine that. Just imagine like just reading, go back and make them laugh the way that you made them cry. Man, that's beautiful, beautiful speech. But the people, they're not hearing this type of stuff today. You see the behavior with the parents and the kids and the way they're acting. Not just with the parents, just with old folks in general. No respect for elders anymore. Allahumma staan.
When I hear the crying, because of you, and I think of like when we're going over this, and I think of like perfect parents, I think of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and Yaqub alayhi salam, and what they went through. Because you say, وَأَضْحِكُمَا كَمَا أَبْكَيْتُهُمَا. I think of Yaqub alayhi salam, how much he cried.
Yeah, for his son. But also, if you go back to Ibrahim and how he dealt with his father, and his father was a mushrik. Not just a mushrik, his father was the one who used to make the idols for them to worship. And then he was there when he got ordered to be thrown in the fire, so it's like, but you still see how soft he spoke to his father and how nice he dealt with him, and his dealings with him he never strayed. Even though if anybody had the right to be angry and be like, come on, dude, y'all threw me in the fire, man. It's like, I don't need to respect you no more, but he's still, ya abati, and he's using the most polite words in the language, to speak to his father. So it's amazing, and like I said, this is what people need to be hearing nowadays, but this isn't the focus anymore,
What is ya habati?
Oh, my father.
Oh, dear.
My father.
No, yeah.
Abu.
No, yeah, abi is more like informal. It's just normal, but when you say ya abati, like here when she was talking to Abu Hurairah, she said ya bunayya, so ya ibni would be like just normal. But yeah, bunay, it means it's a tasghir, but it's also, but they do it out of a form of, oh my young son, And so it's like it's real soft, So when you say like yeah, abati, it's real. You can't get softer than that. You can't get, like how much more respectful can you get without kissing his feet? You know what I'm saying? So.
How do you say it for a daughter?
Hmm?
How do you say it for a daughter? You say ya bunayya for a son. What about for a daughter?
Yeah,
Oh,
binti.
girl.
Binti, yeah.
I don't think you say yeah, bunati. Say yeah, binti. Yeah, bunayya, because the tasghir is normal, but yeah, binti.
Yeah, ibnati.
Yeah, ibnati, yeah, ibnati, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question though. That's another two things I need to look up. All right, the chain of narration for this one and that, inshallah. All right, so the next hadith and the last one in this chapter. حدثنا عبد الرحمن بن شيبة قال أخبرني ابن أبي الفديك قال حدثني موسى عن أبي حازم أن أبا مرة مولى أم هاني ابنة أبي طالب أخبره أنه ركب مع أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه إلى أرضه بالعقيق فإذا دخل أرضه صاح بأعلى صوته السلام عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته يا أمتاه تقول وعليك السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته يقول رحمك الله كما ربيتني صغيرا فتقول يا بني وأنت فجزاك الله خيرا ورضي الله عنك كما بررتني كبيرا قال موسى كان اسم أبي هريرة عبد الله ابن عمرو. And that's an issue for a long discussion right there. All right, so here this is Abu Hurairah when he went back to his where he's from. All right, Abu Hurairah, his asl is from where?
Yemen.
He's Yemeni. He's from the Dos tribe. All right. So he said, and whenever he would go back to his land, Bil-Aqiq, فَإِذَا دَخَلَ أَرْضَهُ, whenever he entered into his land, he would yell at the highest pitch that he could yell at, with the highest voice that he could yell, to call out to his mother. And he would say, Assalamu alayki wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh ya ummatah. oh my mother, you give her salams. And then she would respond back, wa alayka salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh yaqulu. And then he would say to her, rahimakillahu kama rabbaytani saghira. The same as the previous, the first hadith from this class. She'd say, he'd say to her, may Allah have mercy on you for how you raised me when I was young. فَتَقُولُ يَا بُنَيَّ. And then she would say, oh my son. وَأَنْتَ فَجَزَاكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you good. وَرَضِيَ عَنْكَ. And be pleased with you. كَمَا بَرَرْتَنِي كَبِيرًا. As you have been righteous to me in my old age. And Musa said, كَانَ اسْمُ أَبِي هُرَيْرَةَ Abdullah ibn Amr. And we spoke about this before. The Abdurrahman ibn Sakhr was the ikhtiyar of Imam al-Nawawi, rahimahullah. But as far as the name of Abu Hurairah, there's about 24 different names for Abu Hurairah. So there's nothing thabit. Now Imam Nawawi chose this, and then you see in this chain of narration, you see that Musa said what? Abu Hurairah, Abdullah ibn Amr.
When it says Musa, who's Musa?
Moses?
Musa, I told you I didn't go back and check the
Oh no, not Moses.
No, it's not Musa.
Not Musa, not Musa.
Musa's not going to be narrating a hadith from Abu Hurairah. So, I don't know. I told you I got to go back and check the chains of narration. I didn't get a chance to sit down with it today.
What's the grading on yours? What does it say?
I told you the tahqiq of this book is horrible.
Oh,
I don't advise anybody to get the tahqiq of this, because even the hadith that Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, even the ones that he said were da'if. This guy over here is talking about, oh, it's not sahih. How is this not sahih? And there's like 2 people in the chain that are weak. And he's doing the grading of the hadith based on what Hafiz ibn Hajar said in Taqrib. You can't do that. Hafiz ibn Hajar, he wrote a Taqrib. Taqrib al-Tahdib is a book like this big. With it's like maybe 1,400 pages. It's a huge book, but it's one volume. And it's with all the narrators of all the major books of hadith. So you can look up any of the narrators, but it's just a quick reference. You cannot make a hukam on a hadith based on what you read in Taqrib. You understand? That's not what it's for. It's only to, like right now, I just need a quick reference. Like I'm in a masjid, so I can carry Taqrib with me. I can't take Tahdib al-Kamal or Tahdib al-Tahdib and all these bigger books. I can't take them with me to the masjid, but I can take Taqrib with me, right? So it's just used for a quick reference. But he's basing his hukam, his ruling on the hadith, he's basing it off of what Hafiz ibn Hajar said in Taqrib. Well, that's already khalas, If a person's doing that, then you don't want to read his tahqiq. Because, come on, that means you're not doing that's not research. What does Shaykh al-Albani say? It's da'if, right?
No, he said Hasan al-Isnad.
Hasan al-Isnad?
Yeah, so.
And the dhati or the ghayri?
Nothing, he just says Hasan al-Isnad.
Yeah. But the Musa, this is why I got to go back and check, because they have ikhtilaf, because there's 2. One of the narrations said it's Musa, and another narration said it's Abu Musa. What do you have in your book?
Just Musa.
Just Musa.
All Musa.
I'll go back and check it. So like I said today, I just didn't have the time. And here it says Hadathani Musa, and when it says Qala Musa, if you look down in the notes, it says in another nuskha is Abu Musa. So Allah knows best. Beautiful. Beautiful behavior. Beautiful behavior. Oh.
That's it.
Everybody's asleep now. Huh? Where's that? He's on the couch over there. All right. Is there anything here? Because nobody's looking at this.
Huh?
No questions or nothing. Nobody's even there.
No, it says 8 people. 8 people on the live.
That's why you gotta stay on the camera, man.
Oh, no questions, but 8 people and you have 5 thumbs up.
There's no questions or nothing. So now we're gonna go on to the next one.
Someone says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
كنت جلست ساعة كاملة تقول هذا أنت جلست 20 دقيقة تقول هذا
What's that?
أنت جلست 20 دقيقة ترد له
Well, because nobody told me. I can't see it, almost not. I don't have like vision that goes around to the other side of the camera. So. All right, so Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, speaking of Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar, Now let's read his book now, but not Taqrib though. All right, so we stopped at in the Dar es Salaam print, hadith number 972, 973. All right, عن سهل بن سعد الساعدي رضي الله تعالى عنهما قال جاءت امرأة إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقالت يا رسول الله جئت أهب لك نفسي فنظر إليها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فصعد النظر فيها وصوبه ثم طأطأ رأسه طأطأ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رأسه فلما رأت المرأة أنه لم يقضي فيها شيئا جلست فقام رجل من أصحابه فقال يا رسول الله إن لم تكن لك بها حاجة فزوجنيها قال فهل عندك من شيء فقال لا والله يا رسول الله فقال اذهب إلى أهلك فانظر هل تجد شيئا فذهب ثم رجع فقال لا والله ما وجدت شيئا فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم انظر ولو خاتما من حديد فذهب ثم رجع فقال لا والله يا رسول الله ولا خاتما من حديد ولكن هذا إزاري قال سهل ما له رداء he only had an izar, no رداء فلما and I'll explain this in a minute فلما فلح نصفه فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وما تصنع بإزارك إن لبسته لم يكن عليها منه شيء وإن لبسته لم يكن عليك منه شيء فجلس الرجل حتى إذا طال مجلسه قام فرآه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم موليا فأمر به فدعي له فلما جاء قال ماذا معك من القرآن قال معي سورة كذا وكذا سورة كذا عددها فقال تقرأهن عن ظهر قلبك قال نعم قال اذهب فقال ملكتكها بما معك من القرآن متفق عليه ولفظ المسلم وفي رواية له انطلق فقال زوجتكها فعلمها من القرآن وفي رواية للبخاري أمكناكها بما معك من القرآن ولأبي داود عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال ما تحفظ قال سورة البقرة والتي تليها آل عمران قال فقم فعلمها 20 آية. All right. A long hadith, a lot of masail in this hadith, and I really wanted to kind of like go through Adab al-Mufrad quick because of what is contained in this hadith, because it's a lot of the issues that we discuss are right in this hadith, you know. So this is like one of those hadith that, and this is why if you look at how Hafiz ibn Hajar did Bulugh al-Maram, if you notice that he only mainly brought the snippet of the hadith that gave the ruling, the hukm, but here you see the hadith was long. So this was one of the rare occasions that Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar, he brought the entire hadith. Even the hadith of Jabir, which is the hadith of Hajj, which is a long hadith, he didn't bring it in its entirety. He brought most of it, but he didn't bring the entire hadith because it would fill up like 3 pages, you know. But he brought up like, I think he filled up like 2 pages worth. He still brought, it's still a long hadith, even in Bulugh al-Maram, but he didn't bring the entire hadith. But here he brought the entire hadith because of all the different, you know, issues contained in this hadith. So let's get started. So this is reported on the authority of Sahl ibn Sa'd al-Sa'di radiyallahu anhuma. He said that a woman came to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فقالت يا رسول الله, O Messenger of Allah, جئت أهب لك نفسي. So she came to him and she said, I came to give myself to you as a gift. All right, ahabu lak, this comes from wahaba. All right, so this is like when a woman, she comes and she just gives herself to the Prophet ﷺ. Now this is from the khasa'is of the Prophet ﷺ, which means what?
Woman can't do this thing.
Nobody else can do it. This is only for the Prophet. So a woman cannot come up to, and the hiba is that she can give herself to the Prophet with no sadaq, so he doesn't have to give her a mahar. She just goes and say, I'm giving myself to you as a gift. And this is only for the Prophet because everybody else, they have to give the woman a mahar, a dowry is wajib upon everybody else. So only the Prophet ﷺ, this is from his khasa'is, where the woman can come to him and give herself as a gift. And I don't know of any time that he actually accepted it. So out of all the women that he married, I don't believe, you can go back and double check it, but I don't believe he married any of the ones that presented. Even in this case, he didn't marry the woman. And that's what we're going to go over. So she said, Jittu ahabu laka nafsi. All right, so This is like what we said, is without sadaq. And this comes in the Quran in Surah Al-Ahzab, what? You know the ayah, the little show that this is only for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وامرأة مؤمنة إن وهبت نفسها للنبي إن أراد النبي نفسها للنبي إن أراد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن أراد النبي أن يستنكحها خالصة لك من دون المؤمنين. So وامرأة, alright, مؤمنة. The condition of the hiba is that the woman has to be what? She has to be a mu'mina. Yeah, she has to be a Muslim. So this is not, so the ulama, they have ikhtilaf in this issue. They say if she's a kafira, she can't come up to him and say, you know, ahabu laka nafsi, that she has to be a believing woman. Alright? And wahabat nafsaha lin-nabi. And arad al-nabiyya an yastanqihaha khalisatan laka min duni al-mu'minin. Khalisatan lak min duni al-mu'minin. So this shows that this is from the khasa'is. That this is permissible for him to do, but it's not permissible for the other Muslims. Is it messages or what is it? Alright. So basically she gives herself as a gift without any muqabil, biduna a sadaq, any mahar. What's that?
Someone said, like, Assalamu alaikum, watching from Malaysia.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hayakum Allah. Hayakum Allah. Now, I wish I was watching from Malaysia. Not that I don't like Fresno. I love Fresno, but I would definitely love to be in Malaysia a lot more. Who wouldn't? You know what I'm saying? We can all go together, right?
Take us with.
Can we clarify that not only is the right of the Rasulullah Sallallahu to take her without a dowry, but it's also only a right for him, for a woman to approach him directly.
No, we're going to get to that in a second. No, wait. That's coming. All right. So also, that was this very next thing on the list of things to talk about. So also we see in the hadith that it is permissible for the woman and ta'arid nafsaha, that she can go up to a man and say, I want to marry you. It is not from the khasa'is of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She can do this. If, for example, but with the condition of what? Either aminat al-fitna. And that there's not going to cause any fitna, not for her, and not for him, and not for somebody else. Because it might not cause a fitna for her, it might cause a fitna amongst her family members or something like that. If that's going to happen, then it's not permissible. But if she can, like, for example, if her father or her brother or whoever her wali is not actively trying to get her married, and she wants to get married, and she sees somebody that she deems as a person who's righteous, not just some dude that she sees because he's got a nice car, that's foolish. But somebody that she sees that's in the masjid, he's righteous and he's trying to be on the deen, and she wants to get married, she can approach him. Not approach him and have a conversation with him, but she can walk up to him and say, here's the number from my father or my brother. I want to marry you. Contact them and walk off. Not to have a conversation, not to chill out and say, okay, listen, let's talk about this over coffee. No, this is not permissible. But for her to do this, as long as it's not going to be fitna, and this is the only way, like I said, this is her situation where the people who are in charge are not actively trying to find a husband. But if you got the father, so the father, the brother, or whoever's the wali for the girl, then he can go into the masjid and he can approach the brothers and he can say, look, I see you, you're a righteous brother, and I have my daughter, she wants to get married. He could do that. But if they're not doing that, then she can do it. It is permissible for her to do it as long as it's not going to cause problems. If it's going to cause fitna in the household, the father finds out and the father goes buck wild and starts throwing chairs all over the place, and the house turns into like a Royal Rumble. No, it's better for her to be patient, make dua. Because the people at Akhi, man, they you know what I'm saying, when you tell them to make dua, it's like you're telling them like,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like they have this like, oh, come on, what's dua going to do? That's why your dua never gets answered. And that's why you're stuck in the situation that you're stuck in. And dua can change everything, but you got to, have that husn al-dhan, that good, harboring good thoughts with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If somebody tells you, man, all right, you really want to get married? Yes, I really want to get married. Really want to get married? All right, what are you doing in the last third of the night? Sleeping. That's why you're not married. Get up and make dua. Get up in the last third of the night and make dua. I had to sit there like, Allah tested me for 10 years, akhi. For 10 years, not 10 years. 1999 was when I started like really practicing Islam. I was already Muslim from like 94. But like 99 was like when I really started practicing Islam. And as soon as I started practicing, I need a wife like today, like 5 minutes from now. And it didn't happen. Allah tested me because of obviously you do things in your days of stupidity, and Allah's gonna put you through tests. And because you did these things that were not permissible, and I was a Muslim and I did a lot of bad things, So I accepted that as a punishment. And I had to sit there and make dua from 1999 until 2007, akhi. You understand? 8 years of being patient, making dua until I finally got married. And then alhamdulillah, I had the kids. And then, what it takes, you gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. Because sometimes Allah's gonna, Allah tests us because things that we used to do were not permissible. And then now we're getting tested, and putting, purified, inshallah. Yeah, but so that's the main thing. Just make dua, man. People, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that dua part. All right. So he said, the woman, she came to him. All right. أحب لك نفسي فنن so.
So we can be clear. So a sister that's divorced, that already has kids, the kids' father in the community, so on and so forth, her walking up to somebody and telling somebody, I offer myself to you, I want to marry you. Clearly that's going to cause a fitna.
Well, if there's no need for it, she shouldn't do it in the first place. Because if she has a brother who's a Muslim, a father who's a Muslim, or even one of her older sons, one of them can do that for her.
No, I'm saying she's divorced, she has kids.
But she can't say, I offer myself to you. Because she's not, like I said, it's not a hiba. The hiba is only for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But she could say, like, if this is what I'm saying, this is her last option. If she can't, like, she tried any other options, because if he's a Muslim brother and he has a Muslim family and he has a sister, and then she can go and talk to the sister, you know what I'm saying? So to try to find other ways and other ways of doing it before, but to make this the first option, no. No, the woman just walks up to the dude. If we said that was permissible, you know how the types of doors of fitna that we would open up? Yeah, because a lot of the brothers, dudes will be ignorant, sitting outside drinking tea. Well, she presented herself to me, and we're just having a cup of coffee together now, Nah.
Because we have specifically had those issues where,
He's divorced. He mind his own business.
sister with kids, divorced husband, single mom with the kids, come up and ask for long, and then fireworks, cannons, nukes.
Then it wasn't permissible. Yeah, it wasn't permissible.
Specifically because we have seen this.
If a woman came up to me and said, I want to marry you, it's game over. You just lost. Like, that's over. Like, you go away, bye. Because if, there's so many other ways to do that. I mean, me personally, I couldn't have married, I could not marry a girl that does that. I couldn't. I'm if alhamdulillah, to each his own,
Is it, obviously the answer is clear, because I want for everyone to hear, is it haram for a person to just, like if he's walking past the street, or he's in the mall, or wherever, or even in the masjid, he walks past a woman, and he says, obviously she's Muslim, and he says, Assalamu alaikum. Like, obviously, it's just random. Like, me.
You should just leave her alone. Because, you don't know, look, man, that woman, that girl, whatever, has a father or brother that might be Muslim, that might know to find if he knew that you did that, just because again, a lot of people to try to like salam alaikum, trying to open up, just leave it, let her go. Let her just, I remember when I first got to Los Angeles. This happened with Fareed, but it wasn't Fareed. Like, I'm from the East Coast, and I was from a community that didn't really practice the Sunnah. So as soon as I got to LA, I was walking down the street, and like maybe 3 or 4 sisters, they walked by on the sidewalk. I didn't look at them. I wasn't looking. I had my head to the ground, said, "Assalamu alaikum." Just kept walking. Nothing. Fareed comes up to me. He says, "Come on, I want to talk to you." And I said, "What?" He said, the sisters, you gave them salams. I said, "Yeah, we don't do that here. Sisters give salams to the sisters, the brothers give salams to the brothers. Those are the wives and daughters of other brothers, and they didn't like that." I said, "I didn't know." He said, we know, but don't do it again. And that was it. Class, no problem. Because it's just, what's the purpose? If there's not an absolute necessity of you speaking to that sister, don't talk to her. That's it. Don't talk to her. Her house is burning down. Go tell her, "Hey, ukhti, your house is burning down." That's a necessity. That's a darura. Otherwise, "Assalamu alaikum, ya sister. How you doing, sister?" "Yeah, akhi, man, come on, man. Seriously, man. I see that, man. I be making dua. May Allah make this dude get hit by a car. Akhi, wallah, seriously, what are you doing, man? That's somebody's brother. She's got a brother. She's got a father. Somebody that's going to really, really not like what you're doing. Respect the people. Respect that person's family. You have no business. She is not a part of your family, and she's not a mahram, and you're not a mahram for her. You have no business talking to her for no reason. And she has no business talking to you. That's it. You want to talk to her, go to her father, go to her brother, somebody, and go speak to them. "Look, I want to marry your daughter." Don't go talk to her. Don't give her salams. "Hey, sister, how you doing today? Oh, mashallah, that's a nice hijab." What type of foolishness is this?
Front door.
Huh?
You go to the front door.
Nah, man, because that destroys brotherhood. That destroys brotherhood. We talked about this before. It's like, man, we're not going to sit here and have brotherhood destroyed because you can't control your desires with a woman. Yeah, that's the weakest link amongst us is the brother who cannot control his desires with women. That's the weakest link. That's the weakest link. And we're only as strong as what? That weakest link. And we have a lot of weak links right now. A lot. Like our chain's just like, snapping apart, and we're trying to put it back together, but people keep snapping it apart. So, nah, man.
We just got pieces laying next to each other.
We don't even have to chain together no more. So, that doesn't right. That doesn't right. If you have there's not an absolute necessity of doing that. If it's in a community where it's not going to cause a fitna, it's permissible to you to give salams to the woman, but not by herself. But to give salams to a group of women. But if you see a sister walking alone, you say, "Assalamu alaikum, fulana." Seriously, what are your intentions at this point? You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, that's not enough. If it's a group of women and that's something that's known and it's something accepted, see, I gave salam. I didn't give the salams to one sister. I gave salams to a group. I wouldn't do that to one sister. In fact, one time I remember I walked out, this was in Los Angeles, there's one of the sisters from the community, she was walking out and the dude was talking to her. So I walked up to him and I said, "Come here, man." I said, because I want to make sure, right? You from her family? He said, "No." I said, "Well, y'all trying to get married or something or what?" Because they're too young. I'm like, "Well, maybe." He said, "Nah, she's my classmate in school." I said, "What?" Man, he saw my face change. When I said that, I said, "Man, don't you ever talk to her again. You see, she got a hijab and everything. She's our sister. That's us. That's Muslim. You ain't from us. You don't ever talk to her again. And you're gonna watch what happens if you talk to her again."
Now they follow them on Instagram and Snapchat.
Well, the women, they open up the doors to that fitna. But it's because of why? Because the people are opening that door. And not, we need to keep those doors shut. Those doors of fitna, they have to remain shut. We cannot give shaitan the entrance and the causing problems between us. And wallahi, the easiest way for shaitan to get between us is women. Easy way. Money and women. Boy, the two easiest ways of shaitan to mess us up. You know, so those doors stay closed. It's closed.
Yeah, money.
Closed.
So since Instagram is mentioned, let's establish also that talking on the phone, Instagram and Facebook, all that, is still a private thing, and the third amongst them is a shaitan, and this is haram.
Yeah, it's haram.
I mean,
All of look, all of those doors are doors. I mean, look, what I'm telling you is you walking up to the street, giving this sister, while she's alone, giving her salams, is not acceptable. Forget what they do on Instagram. That's just like, you know what I'm saying? That's just more gasoline on the fire, you know what I'm saying? Because this alone will open up doors of fitna.
but people
Yeah.
think that's acceptable now. People think that if they're on the phone or if they messaging back and forth, people think that's acceptable.
Yeah, and look at
It's
it.
still haram.
I'm going to tell you one thing about America. First off, forget America, but let me tell you something about American Muslims. Out of all the Muslims in the world, I think we probably have the highest divorce rate. And we have the highest, like if you go to the Islamic universities, we have the highest dropout rate out of all the people in the world, the British and everybody else. Because, so obviously whatever we're doing is not working. It's wrong. You know, you look at the divorce and the marriages here, wallahi, akhi, when you get married in America, you don't even expect that marriage to last past the next year. You don't even expect it, you know, because so obviously there's no barakah in nothing that we're doing. So obviously what we're doing is not correct. I mean, and you know, again, you know, I know this is like cliche where all the people, they talk about the definition of insanity. You know, but it's reality. It is insane when you continue to do the same stupid behavior over and over and over, but you think that the results are going to change. The only way that we're going to achieve anything is we got to go back to the sunnah and we got to close all those doors of fitna. And if shaitan's going to try to come in through those doors of fitna between the women, nah, I feel more comfortable. You know, if we have that type of, even though some people might think it's like harsh, they're harsh, they hide their women. I think what? Our women are like what? For show? For what? For the world to see? For the world to chat with? So what type of honor do we have as men if we just let our women just run around and act foolish? What type of honor do we have as men if any fool can come up and talk to one of our daughters? Actually, no, man, I will put a bullet in the dude. I will take a life sentence for something like that. You know, messing around. Like, alhamdulillah, Allah didn't give me a daughter. You know, I wanted sons. I'm like, I don't want a daughter because I'll kill a joker. I will kill him, you know, over something like that. And seriously, that's not a joke. What type of honor do we have? If anybody can just come up and just chit-chat with our girls on social media, actually what separates us from them? Or the Prophet ﷺ said that ahad alladhi baynana wa baynahum as-salat. You know, where he said, you know, what is that ahad, that contract, that, you know, this covenant that we took that's between them is the salat. From So this is what separates us, is our ibadah, our worship, and the things that we do. And our mannerisms and how, you know, our obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger and closing the doors of fitna. These kuffar, they open up all the doors of fitna. Everything. And that's why you see most of them are gay, homosexual now, because they, you know, running around with women so much. Now the women ain't even good enough for him now. Now he wants to be the woman now, you know. Look at the society that they live in. We don't follow what they follow. Those doors of fitna, we close them. And us as men, we're the protectors of the women. And dude comes up and tries to talk to our women and tries to, nah, man, off with the head. I think that's what that stuff for a lot. I shouldn't say that on YouTube, but you know, that's metaphorical. You know what I'm saying? We'll, off with the head, like we'll beat them down way, not actual physical, you know, because they're going to say, oh my God, terrorists. No.
I was saying is, heard that in Fresno, there's the.
You talking about the masjid?
No.
Or Fresno in the city?
No, Fresno. Like, he was a Muslim. Well, and this is something I seen with my own two eyes. Well, I heard that he, quote unquote, married a Christian woman, and at the time he did it, he was a Muslim. So later, I see him at a restaurant He's now a pothead and he's a Christian. After he quote unquote got together with this Christian woman, and now I'm talking about, the free mixing and all that.
Yeah, it's a fitna. He opens up all the doors of fitna.
Like he left Islam totally.
Mm.
I seen him. I seen him wear a cross. Like it's not. I'm gonna make takfir if I see someone wear a cross.
Alright, no more questions. You got me all excited now, man. He pushing buttons. Alright. فصعد نظر فيها. Alright, so here he went and when she came and she presented herself to him, and the Prophet ﷺ, he looked up and he looked her over, but in the clothes obviously that she was already wearing. And what's up?
YouTube is having a field day.
What's happening? What is like comments or what?
Yeah. Oh, is this? I have to go.
Oh, there's a lot of comments like that.
I don't need. Okay. Remember. What? Remember the tafsir? I think. Remember the tafsir books unboxing and review videos that went down multiple times. Please put it back for us.
Oh, the tafsir video.
If you
See, the
can.
problem with the tafsir video, I have to redo it, but I have to leave out a person's name. Because the person who we spoke about, that was the person who kept getting the video taken down. So it wasn't because I took the video down. It's because YouTube took the video down and gave us 3 strikes for that video.
Is it the
No,
guy?
don't say the name. Don't say the name.
Is it him?
Man, because he's a crybaby, akhi. Wallahi. He goes and cries to the kuffar, and he gets the video taken down, because this is the type of Islam that he has. And wallahi, and you can even ask Sajid about this. Sajid, and so the people know that we don't do this garbage, is that when that video got taken down, Sajid, he said we should go and we should file a complaint, because why is the video getting taken down? And what did I tell him? I said, no, we're not going to complain to the kuffar like he complains to them. We're going to be patient and we'll deal with this, whatever. The channel gets taken down, the channel gets taken down. I'm not going to go cry to the kuffar about this. Khalas. If he wants to do that, Yawm al-Qiyamah, khalas. That's between us and him. And inshallah, you will answer for that on the day of judgment, homeboy. Inshallah, you will answer for that. All right, but anyway, so he said, all right, but here also in this part of the hadith, it shows what? The permissibility of looking at the woman. Is there that many comments or what?
Yeah, that's a lot. I tell you, I had
Yes.
field day.
Because you excited everybody today.
Oh, dude, one said one retracted their message after one said these mahrams allow them to have Snapchat, and then another one was like,
That's because most of the Muslim fathers today, you gotta understand, most of these dudes, they come over here, they just want the dunya. And they're punks, akhi. Like most of them, they ran from their country because they fear poverty. And they come over here and they let the children do whatever because they're just punks, akhi. They don't want to take responsibility for anything. And again, we talk about that. Man, it takes responsibility. If my kids are messing up, that's my fault. That's my responsibility. That's not the school's fault. That's not the neighbor's fault. That's not society's fault. That's my fault. If I failed, I failed. And I take that responsibility. Punks, they come over here and just like let their girls run around. The girls end up telling them what to do. What type of man are you, man? Where's your honor? And this is the deen now. We're not here to just make these laws up on our own, but we're here to follow the laws that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down and close these doors of fitna, man. But most of these dudes, they don't want to do that. Islam for them, they're weekend warriors when it comes to Islam. It's just, it's something that they do on the weekend. It's a hangout thing. I'm a Muslim on the weekend. Weekend warriors, do they still use that terminology nowadays?
if anything, you see them. Sorry.
We are parents. We are not the peers of our kids. We have to say what's right and do what's right in regard to them, and succumbing to the norms of society in order to keep a good relationship with them. That's not from our deen. These things we should not be doing. Period.
And it's a protection, but you see what happens. Now look at it. Everybody just look at society now. When I came back to America, imagine, I'm gone for 21 years. I left out of America in 2000. come back here at the end of 2021 and see what I see. What's going on?
I'm from Malaysia. I'm from Egypt. I'm from Saudi. We're just saying the country at this point. Hey, 15 people.
ماليزيا ومصر ولاس فيغاس ومكة وهيوستن وهذا هو.
I was laughing about how Mujahid said he was like, everyone's saying their country at this point.
Alhamdulillah, Allah yahfadhum. Alright, so ثم طأطأ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رأسه. Now I want you to understand this. Now طأطأ رأسه, it means that he looked down. And normally you look down out of like khajal, like shyness or embarrassment. In this case, obviously it wasn't out of embarrassment. He looked at the woman, right? And he didn't want her. But you see the mannerisms of the Prophet ﷺ, instead of saying, you know what, I don't like you, go away. He just looked down and he stayed quiet. And he got, the shyness, it's that shyness that he has. And he looked down at the ground and he stopped looking at her. And once she saw that he stopped looking at her, she understood what? Yeah, he didn't want her. But he didn't want to say it out in front of the people, and he didn't want to say anything to make her feel bad, make her feel embarrassed. So he just stayed quiet and he looked down at the ground and she understood, so she sat down. And that was it. You see even the treatment with the woman and how, well, nowadays you see like, what's the new trends now with the women?
Yelling at the bus stop. Yelling at the bus stop.
No, I'm talking about the men and how they deal with the women. Like like the new thing is like, to be a man, you have to be this aggressive, super testosterone, treating the women like, garbage type of. You see the Prophet and his mannerisms with the woman. You don't have to diss the woman, and you don't have to. You don't want her, but you see how the mannerisms. He just looked down, and she saw that okay, he doesn't want me, and she sat down. And he didn't embarrass her. He didn't say anything to make her feel like shamed or something like this. He didn't even mention what he saw about it that he didn't like. He just stayed quiet and looked down until she got the point, and then khalas, that was it, game over. You see the behavior with the women, and then now compare that now to these fools that run around, talking about I'm a man, but if you're a man, then you don't need to mistreat a woman. You mistreat a woman because you're a punk, because you can't go out on the streets and act like that with real men. So what you do is what? You have to act aggressive with who? With the women. Because you're not doing that out on the streets, because you know what's going to happen to you. What's going to happen, Robert? Take that aggressive attitude out on the streets.
Smoking that pack.
Find out about it.
Yeah, you're going to be on a t-shirt.
Yeah, somebody gonna.
You know what I'm saying? In memory of, and here's your face, put face here,
You wake up later and somebody can tell you.
Want me to read it?
Yeah, but you see.
Somebody wake you up later.
You see, in warfare, the Prophet ﷺ on the front lines. He doesn't got to come act aggressive to women and disrespect women and act, and shame women and diss women. No, you see, he treated, his behavior, mashallah. You see the best. Rasulullah sallallahu just look down. Beautiful understanding. The hadith. What are y'all talking about now, man?
Oh, someone commented, like, subhanAllah, the shyness of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. All shyness, haya is good as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
And would y'all stop reading the comments and focus on the hadith?
He called me.
Alright, so فَلَمَّا رَأَتِ الْمَرْأَةُ أَنَّهُ لَمْ يَقْضِي فِيهَا شَيْئًا. So once she saw that he didn't want anything to do with her, like, because he just looked down and stayed quiet, jealoused, so she sat down. فَقَامَ رَجُلٌ. So another man stood up from his companions. فَقَالَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ, O Messenger of Allah, إِن لَمْ تَكُنْ لَكَ بِهَا حَاجَةٌ فَزَوَّجْنِيهَا. If you don't want her, then marry her to me. Marry me to her. All right. وَقَالَ فَهَلْ عِنْدَكَ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Do you have anything, to give her as what? As a mahar. A dowry, yes. And this shows that the mahar is an obligation. And this is the next issue that we're going to deal with. Why? Because he asked him, do you have anything? And then he asked him to go look for something. If he came back and said, I don't have anything, even a khatam hadith, then if the mahar was not like obligatory, then there's no purpose in sending them to go look for all this stuff, right? He says, I don't have anything. And he said, okay, whatever, I'll marry you anyways, right? But he didn't. He made him go out and search and search and search and search for something, right?
What's the hadith?
I think we should answer it
I
in
think he
public.
came to the prophet and he said he was poor. But and the Prophet Muhammad told him to marry someone. And he came back again and said he was poor, he's still poor. And he said marry another one.
I don't know.
Oh, that was
I'm not sure this hadith, no. Oh, what's up?
We have a question, someone is asking, if, is it permissible for a man and a woman with intentions to marry to communicate with each other through email by exchanging important questions and so on and so forth?
No. You set up with Waliy and ask those questions to the Waliy.
This is also because people they want to be going through different doors. Let's just say if someone
It's
they
not
say
for the man and the woman even for them to.
I mean, if they're engaged, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to talk to her, like for example, he wants to call and talk to her. Put her father on three-way, or her brother, or whoever his function is, the Waliy, and talk to them, talk to her, and ask the questions that you need to ask in the presence of that person. But to sit there and talk to her, like especially, and this is what I hate more than anything. I hate this is the one thing. If I know a person does this, I don't even come near me, I'm not even gonna give you salams. If you die, I don't even want to pray on you. If a person does this, you go up to a Muslim girl who has a Muslim father and a Muslim brother, and you want to try to contact her and try to go and do this like sideways stuff and try to get to her without going through them. That man raised her. What type of respect are you showing to your Muslim brother, the man that raised this girl? And that's the type of respect that you show him by doing this sideways business and trying to contact her in different ways? Akhi wallahi, nah. That type of stuff, man, no. Go to the Waliy. If she doesn't have a Waliy, because maybe she's not, maybe her family's not Muslim, and if she says up, she goes to the Imam of the Masjid or somebody in authority amongst the Muslims. You don't go to the food max and find a Waliy and go shopping for the Waliy. It has to be a person in authority, because the actual Waliy, if there's no Waliy for the girl, who acts as the Waliy on her behalf?
the qadi.
The Qadi. So if it's the Qadi, and because we don't have a judge, we don't have Muslim judges in America, so that means that we have to choose the closest thing to that. That doesn't, some fulan, and anybody that comes, he cannot be the Waliy for this girl. No, does not take the place of a judge. You have to go to the person who is the closest person that fits that criteria. So just going and shopping for the Waliy and like setting up, hey, Abdul Malik, I'm gonna marry this girl, you be the Waliy. No, that's tala'ub bid-dinillah. That's playing with the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, the Waliy has to be somebody in authority. So she goes to the Imam of the Masjid, and she said, she speaks behind the partition, and she explains to the Imam, I want to get married, this brother, blah, 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 and then he contacts that Imam, and then they can set up some time, some way that they can chat on three-way, and then they can discuss all the issues that they need to chat and discuss in the presence of that person who's functioning as her Waliy. But as far as her getting online, or him getting online and sitting there conversing back and forth with no, shaitan thalithahuma.
With no hijab between them.
Huh?
I said, chatting back and forth.
Shaitan's the third. Shaitan's the third. So
Just to be clear, so if I may continue to marry a sister, she accepts, and I go and appoint this friend of mine to be the Waliy, and that friend of mine to be the witness, and that friend of mine to do this, and then another person I ask to be the khatib, and all of us get together and we go off to a house or a Starbucks or whatever it is, and we read Ayah Quran and do all this stuff, and then boom, we're married. This marriage.
that's an episode of The Simpsons.
This is Quran. That marriage.
That's not this Deen. That's an episode of The Simpsons.
I'm asking.
No,
That's not a nikah.
that's not a nikah.
Okay.
And he needs to have a person. The Qadi is the Waliy liman la waliya laha. So the person or the girl that does not have the wali, then the qadi or the sultan or whoever is really a sultan. That's the actual wording in the hadith. A sultan, the wali. So the sultan is the person who has the authority amongst the Muslims. So they put, because after that, obviously, then the judges took that. So that's why they say the judges. But it has to be a person in authority. It cannot just be, any person off the street. You be the wali. No, that's a mockery. That's a joke. That's not from this deen, huh?
I have a real
Because
question.
where the rules? I mean, that's not a real question.
No.
Now you got a fake question.
No, not him. It's because, like, no, not you. Because no offense to the
I
youth,
got a
bro.
real question.
They're asking a very easy question. I just saying. Okay, well, this is something.
This episode is like seems to be getting a lot of attention tonight, huh? Almost.
Hey, you dealing with marriage, bro, this is.
Well, I'll let y'all know it's 9:15 right now in California. So,
Something that was like exclusive for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because
what you talking about?
huh? This is a. So was it something exclusive only for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because I don't know. This is what I'm asking. That when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam married a woman, he didn't. The woman didn't need, just for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She didn't need a mahram because does she need a like
No,
a
because
wedding?
this woman came and she wahabat nafsaha lahu. So she didn't need a wali. You could marry her right there without the wali. And this is from the khasa'is of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes.
Okay.
No, any other marriage without the wali, the marriage is they're committing fornication.
So only the
And
Prophet sallallahu alaihi
if
wasallam.
they get married, like, just forget this. Like, let's say she has a father. Her father is Muslim. And they go to get married. And I've seen this in Yemen. I've seen this, so many times. The father's Muslim, right? So he goes up to the father. He's like, I want to marry your daughter. And he said, man, get out of here. I'm never going to marry my daughter to you, right? And I've seen this over and over. Like, I could tell you so many cases in Yemen, but it's always from Americans. Always from Americans. Never, it's not from Yemenis. So, Ahl Yemen, no, it's never happened from Yemenis, because they'll kill each other over this, right? But what happens is, he goes to the father's like, no, I don't want you to marry my daughter. So then what does he do? He contacts the girl, and he's like, look, I got a fatwa from a sheikh, and what we could do is, like, since your father doesn't want me to marry you, then we can set it up where this person's going to be the wali, and then, and then he's going to marry us, and then that way we can get married. Nah, he's fornicating. He's fornicating. That's fornication. He's a zani, khalas. And if that was an Islamic government, and he would be taken and he would be lashed. He'd be lashed for the fornication, because that marriage is not valid. The marriage is not valid. So what about a person with no wali whatsoever? This is like getting married without the permission of the wali, or bypassing him. If the father is the wali, and he's the functioning wali, you cannot go to her brother and tell her brother, look, I want to get married. No, you go to the father. Unless the father says, go speak to her brother. And if he agrees, I agree. If the father says that, then what? Then that's tawkil. Like, the father made him the wakil. Like, so he said, look, go speak to my son. And if he agrees, I agree. And then now you can go speak to the brother. But if you go to the father and you say, look, I want to marry daughter, it's like, no. I'm gonna go to the brother. No, that's foolish. And the brother cannot act on behalf of the father unless the father agrees, and then the father makes him like an agent, like gives him the authority and says, my son is going to act on my behalf in this marriage. So all of these things, akhi, and all of this stuff overseas, it comes from Americans. And I hate to say it, but 9 times out of 10, it comes from somebody from Philadelphia. Allahumma stan. It's sad, because there's a lot of good brothers from Philadelphia, a lot of good brothers, a lot of real serious students of knowledge from Philadelphia, but because of a large portion of people that can't control their desires, and they do stuff like this, these little fake fatwas, these little bathroom Simpson fatwas, Allahumma stan, akhi. Waliy, man, something, I don't know where they get these fatwas from.
So, on that same specific issue, once the man convinces the daughter to go around behind the father to do this, then he's actually making a ruling that the father is not in his right state of mind, or whatever the case, because to bypass the father like that, he has to be incapacitated or something like that. That's that is,
Now, even if you bypass the father, actually,
you know what I'm saying?
and there's the uncle, there's the brother, there's the grandfather, there's the, there's other individuals that would take the place if the father is not in his right state of mind. If he's from a Muslim,
But I'm
if the
saying-
girl's from a Muslim family.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Yeah.
when that happens,
Give
that is what they're trying to
Let
imply
him choose.
when they do this back.
I don't care what they're trying to imply. I'm going to tell you what the reality is. If they go and set up another wali, even if it's the girl's brother, and they consider that a marriage, that marriage is not valid, and they're fornicating. Period. Game over. Game over. They need to make tawbah to Allah. I've seen it over and over and over and over again. One brother did that in Yemen and convinced the girl to do this. She's Yemeni. Yemeni. Convinced her to do this, and her family disowned her, and he divorced her. Imagine now, she's got to go back to her family. Please, Father, take me back after she just did this. He went, and her father's Muslim, her father prays in the masjid, and she went behind his back and got married, because the brother convinced her that this is a fatwa from the ulama, Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Yeah, I think what, man, please, man, this dude couldn't even speak Arabic, What fatwa is he reading? Again, man, this is subhanAllah.
This person is asking a question that's not really.
I'm telling you, man. Oh boy, my blood pressure's going up today, boy. In this class,
But it's not on-
we're gonna have to end this class like this. We're gonna finish this hadith tomorrow, inshallah.
But this is not on the topic of marriage, it's another issue.
Business.
Yeah, it's the business and the transaction, but it's not on our topic, so.
No, just
Can we
keep.
respond to the person,
I'll check the question later. If it's something that needs to be dealt with, we can deal with it later. But
so tell the brother if he leave his contact, then we can.
I mean, I'll go through tomorrow, inshallah, because I won't be able to see these. It's like 12 hours before you can see the conversation, the live conversation. So I check it the next day, inshallah. If there's like important questions that need to be addressed, I'll address it. But right now, I only
Now,
do
live, you will answer
questions pertaining to that.
pertaining to what we're.
Yes.
Someone did ask a question pertaining to this.
Was it?
It was
Y'all can't keep up now. It's too many.
important with all caps. Paternal uncle, maternal uncle, uncles, and cannot be a wali? Explanation mark. And someone is just deleting a lot of messages. So
They
No,
can't ask the father.
the father's brother can be the
Father
wali,
is-
but if the father gives him the authority.
Yeah.
what if
If the father's.
Like, let's say that the father's in another country, right? Like, let's say she's here in America, and the brother that wants to marry her is in America. The father is in Yemen, for example, and the uncle's here. His brother is here. He can appoint his brother, which is her uncle. He can give him the authority to act on his behalf. But he has to let the people know that he's the wali, whether he's in America or not in America. Just because he left the country, it doesn't mean that you have the right to go behind his back. No, that's batil. He's got, he's still the wali. Even if he went to the Mars or whatever, if he's like in the middle of Antarctica, he's still the wali for that girl. And he has to appoint somebody else to act on his behalf. So if he goes and says, like, for example, I'm going to Mars, look, if my daughter wants to get married, you act on, and if he doesn't do that, then you have to contact him on Mars, get Elon Musk and get a spaceship and go to Mars or whatever, the middle of Antarctica, wherever they go that they say is Mars, and then, contact him over there and try to find out who's going to act on his behalf. But you cannot go behind his back no matter where he's at. He is the wali for that girl. He raised that girl. There's no way that you could disrespect that brother and go behind his back like that. That's so evil. That's so evil. Like I said, man, people like that, I make dua that they get hit by cars, because, it's like that. It's so evil. Where is the honor, Where's the brotherhood? I mean, what type of brotherhood are we going to expect to have if this is the type of stuff that we're doing, That's so evil, That's not the behavior of a Muslim. I go to a father, and I'll be Majnun Layla with the girl. Majnun Layla? Majnun Layla is a poet. He got so entranced with this girl Layla. They grew up together, but then he recited poetry. And from her tribe, if you recite poetry, a poet, they can't marry. So once he recited poetry, bam, the father was like, no, you can't marry my daughter. And he went crazy. He went crazy even to the point where he made all his poetry about Layla. And I could be like him, but if that father refuses, I'll go and I'll make dua, please, Ya Rabbi, change his heart, change his heart, change his heart. But I go back to him. And if he's not changing, then khalas, go find another woman. Go find another, akhi, come on, man. It's like, right now, what's the ratio of women to men right now?
39 to 1.
I don't think it's that much. In the world, maybe.
When you deal with incarceration, homosexuality, and so on and so forth,
I mean, yeah, if you put it like that, if you're including all that, if you're including that in the statistics, you're right. So but it's a lot. And let's just say it's 10 to 1. That's
without
10.
that, without that.
No, I'm saying even let's just say,
11 to 1.
let's say it's 5 to 1, 4 to 1. Yeah, akhi, go find another woman, man. It's like, what is the business of causing all this fitna and all this chaos? And then on top of that, you're considered a fornicator. If you die in that state, you and her deserving of the hellfire. Because of what? Because the father refused? Go find another girl. Ya akhi, wallahi, a'udhu billah. I'll never, please. I go to the brother, hey, I want to marry your daughter. No. Jazakallah khair, akhi, Allah yubarak feek, wa yubarak fi ahlik. Go on about your business. Just burning bridges, and you're not burning bridges, akhi, you're burning families, burning houses down, causing fitna now, where now there's a problem between the father and the daughter. You're breaking up the household, akhi. Nah, man, that's
Burning yourself in the head.
we got, man, if y'all got one more question, I'm telling you, I'm done for
This is the last one.
Y'all got my nerves jumping all over.
This is the last one, though.
I'm gonna go out there and commit a homicide today.
No, I'm saying the question from my end, for me. So let's just say, for example, you want to go propose to a girl, but her father's dead. However, the ex-Waliy's father is alive, the grandfather is alive. Like, so the grandfather, her father's brother.
We're gonna go over all of this, inshallah, with the conditions of the wali. We're gonna talk about this, because there's ikhtilaf in the issue about who takes the place in the absence of the father. Like, for example, the father's dead, or the father's like gone stone crazy or whatever. Who takes the, inshallah, we're going to deal with this in the specific lesson, inshallah, as we go over the hadith about the obligation of a wali. So we'll finish this hadith tomorrow, man. You guys did it to me, man. Y'all did it, man.
It's 20 people in the live.
I mean, right now, it's
21, actually.
that's why, because we got off to a slow start, because most of the hadith that we're dealing with is just about, the good thing about marriage and why we should get married. But once we start getting into these issues, whew.
I told you, you dudes having a field day.
Right now, it's time to pray, man. So it's Jazakumullah khair, hayakumullah from all around the world. Allah yubarak fikum. Allah yahfadhukum. Ilahuna subhanaka wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Yeah, we have like a shot. The rain is coming now.
The rain's coming up?
On the questions.
Oh.
We hit a touchy topic, I think.
You're on the button.
Yeah. Mujahid.
أنا بس أرسلهم رسالة يقولهم بالروح.
I thought we just said it. Didn't I just?
You gonna close out or?
I'm finished.
No, but I mean, are you gonna close us out?
I just.
Oh, this is behind the scenes.
Are you gonna close us out so we can?
I already said it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.